Okay.
All right, whether you are looking for a period piece or a thriller, Michael Cook has you covered.
Yeah, he's here to tell us about the current war and director's cut, and also Black and Blue.
Yes, let's talk about the current war first.
Okay.
This is inspired by the true story of the men who basically brought electricity to this country. Thomas Edison, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. Michael Shannon plays there. You see him playing George Westinghouse. And Nikola Tesla there you see played by Nicholas Hoult. Of course, we all know that Edison invented the light bulb, but the untold story, the things that we forget, is the race to bring electricity across the country. Here in this movie, we see that Edison has one form of current called direct current, which is can only go short distances, but George Westinghouse has an alternating current, which goes further distances. And of course, they're competing with each other to get more towns to take their current. Michael Shannon, I think, is just fantastic as always as George Westinghouse, the industrialist whose name we still know today, even though we're not quite sure where his name came from.
Why do we know this?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch is Thomas Edison. You admire his focus and his singular purpose to strive for his inventions. The Nikola Tesla character, unfortunately, is not given enough to do, even though his story is still fascinating nonetheless. I did enjoy this movie. I enjoyed the tale of these three men and their fight for supremacy over electricity and the things and the ruthlessness at times that they would try to do. There were some subplots that this movie had that I thought sort of took us off course that were not quite interesting. About, like, one example, like the invention of the electric chair. That was a whole subplot that you really...
that's the whole story in itself.
Yeah, exactly. You really didn't feel like you need to know all that. But all in all, I did enjoy this movie for the most part. Had a few problems with its choppiness, but I give it a 7.5 out of 10 because I did enjoy the subject.
What's the rating?
And you learn a little something too about the electric wars, as it were.
What's its rating?
7.5 out of 10.
I mean the parental PG-13.
There's no real violence. There's no nudity.
Okay.
I think it's I don't think your kids would be excited by it.
Oh, I got you.
Or electrified.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Good one.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Black and Blue next. This is a thriller set in New Orleans in present day. There you see on the left Naomi Harris. She's a rookie cop who used to be in the military in Afghanistan. It's her first 3 weeks on the job as a New Orleans police officer. She's not accepted really by anybody. The community doesn't accept her. The police, because she's so new, won't accept her either. And what happens at the very beginning of the movie, she sees some police officers frankly murder people in cold blood. Wow. And she captures it on her body cam, and the whole movie is about her trying to get that footage from the body cam back to the police station. But she's chased throughout the streets of New Orleans by the cops, by the gangsters, and she doesn't know quite who to trust. This movie tries to tell a story more than just a thriller and chase movie, but tries to tell a deeper story about race relations and politics and poverty. But frankly, at times it was just incredibly heavy-handed, where the script was just not well done, and you can just sort of see, when you can predict what the character's going to say,
yeah, it's never good.
That means it's a bit of a cliche script, and unfortunately this falls into it at times. Naomi Harris, I thought, was fantastic. I like to see more of her as a starring actor. You might remember her for some of the James Bond movies. But all in all, I give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. It had some good stars. You had Tyrese Gibson in a good role, and Mike Coulter from the Luke Cage TV series did a good job, but it just didn't quite mesh for me at the end of the day.
All right.
So 2 different movies to see this weekend what you're in the mood for.
Okay, cool. All right, thanks very much. We'll be right back.